What's up, everybody? Jake Kent here once again with another video. Today, we're going to be talking about what it's like transitioning into wearing your first hair system. Because while on the surface, it might seem as if it is all fun and games after that first moment when you get your hair system, there's a whole psychological phase of adapting to this that I want to talk about. Okay? So, if you do not have a hair system right now, there's a chance that you're feeling um, not very confident. You're feeling like you want something that can really change your life, and you've been searching. So you might be looking at a FUP surgery. I always mess it up, but the follicle extraction. You might be looking at traveling overseas to go do that. You might be looking at other options. You might be looking at hair systems, right? And you stumble across this and you say, "Oh, maybe it's not actually that bad. Maybe this is a viable option," right? And you start looking at people's results, and some look terrible, and some look fantastic, and it's probably really confusing about like what you might get as a result, right? So from my experience, I found someone in New York City, and this was the first person I was like, oh my gosh, their work is amazing. And I kid you not, ready to travel from Florida all the way to New York on a regular basis to work with this person at a more expensive rate because they're from New York City. Now, have faith. There are people probably closer to you that can do adequate work, if not just as good. So I kept digging and searching and searching and searching, and I found someone in Miami, which was relatively close. I mean, it's a couple hours away, but in comparison with New York City, it made it much more affordable and it made it much more of a reality. So, how did I pick someone? Well, that's a conversation for another video. But when I went to go and have my hair system installed, it was a very, very scary situation. Because if you watch the videos, right, you see that person gets their head shaved, right? And like, I don't know about you, but that's like one of my fears, right? That like it's gonna be worse than it already is. And right now I'm kind of balding or thinning or whatever you might be. And this person is literally about to take a razor to my scalp and give me a toilet bowl cut. It's really scary. And I want to acknowledge that and say that it's okay. I was really scared when I arrived at the place and I realized what was going to happen. I'm not lying when I say that I was trembling. I was actually shaking, and they were they were sweet laughing at me. You know, they were as if they'd seen this reaction before, and they reassured me that it was okay. They actually offered me some coffee, which I love. Now, when you're going through the process of getting your hair system to install, my God, it's the freakiest experience ever. It's like once you cross that point of no return where they shave your scalp and you're just waiting, you're like, oh my God, like I hope it's okay. I hope it's okay. I hope I don't look crazy. I hope that I don't look like some weirdo from like the 60s. I hope that like a billion different things are running through your mind. They ran through my mind. And it was really scary. It was actually a stressful and like emotional experience. I remember walking out of this, and one of the things I felt was like emotionally drained. I was so tired, I was ready to sleep. Now, when they first put my hair system on, I didn't believe it. Like, it looked fake to me. And that started worrying me because, right, like you and I, if you're suffering the same problem that I was, are used to seeing ourselves as not having hair. So we're used to this image, and as real as it might look, if you don't have in your mind's eye a perception that this is who you are, it seems fake. You know, our eyes are very good at pattern recognition, and we're used to looking at ourselves in the mirror, right? So if something changes, we know something's off. We can tell, like with people, we're like, oh, yeah, something's different about you. Now, this is normal, but other people will not be this adept at noticing what's going on with you. That's our hyper awareness. Okay, so be okay with that. Now, after you leave, oh my gosh, it's gonna be an interesting experience. It's gonna be a mixture of excitement and also anxiety. You're gonna be like looking at your hairline like nuts. I'm gonna be looking in the mirror and be like, oh my god, like holy crap, like what's going on? Like, can anyone tell? Can I tell? Can I tell? Oh man, I can kind of tell. Like if you get really close. But here's the thing, nobody else can. I remember after I got my hair system, I went into a restaurant. It was a Colombian restaurant, and I did it as like a litmus test. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be really brave. I'm gonna go out here and we're gonna see what happens. And I kept watching everybody's eyes to see if they would watch mine. Almost as if like the scene in Inception where the apparitions are looking for the people that are dreaming, or like what the oddity is inside of the dream. That's how I felt. I was looking at everyone's eyes, and I was like, are they watching? And guess what? They weren't. They weren't. So I walked away from that experience, went home, and started to feel confident. I was like, yeah, man, I got my strut on. I was like, I'm looking good. And it was crazy. And it was okay for a couple days until something happened. So, as I mentioned in a previous video, I sweat a lot. I exercise a lot, and I'm not ever going to change that. Well, I went to the gym, and some stuff started popping up on my front hairline, and I did not know how to deal with it. I'd watched videos online about like what might happen and how to reapply, but I had no idea, and I was instantly thrown into this stressful situation where I had hair back, but at the same time I didn't really know how to deal with it, and it was all being taken away from me in an instant, and my mind started freaking out, and I was like, that might happen to you. It probably will happen to you at some point, and it's a really, really scary experience. Take a deep breath. Let it all go. It's going to be okay. And the worst thing that you can do in those situations is stress and freak out. If you just handle it normally, it'll be okay. That phase is tough, to learn how to adapt to this new system and this new way of being a little bit. Not that you have to change your life, not that I changed my life, but it changed my routine a little bit. And I'm not gonna lie, like maintenance took a long time during that week, and I went from being happy about it to really unpleased with it, because it all felt fake. It felt like I was living a lie, and that I had to do a lot of work to keep up the lie. And that was depressing, I think, to taste something that I didn't feel like was really mine. And anyways, so that's a phase that you might go through. And there's a trough that happens, not just in this, but with learning new skills, taking on new challenges, new business challenges. It's an observable thing, right? That happens. It's called the dip. When someone is learning a new skill, there's this instant explosion in progress, right? And there's a like chemical high, like dopamine gets released in our brain because we're like excelling at it super quick. And then once we kind of hit like a peak moment, it's just this rapid decline down into the depths of despair, like worse than when you first started, because you start to realize like, whoa, I don't actually know anything. I'm worse than I thought. And it gets complicated because you start seeing like the nuanced nature of things. And it's tough. It's very, very tough. Well, this happened with me. And I started going into the depths of despair and struggling with what was going on and not being sure if it's something that I wanted, and being like, man, like I almost had it and I tasted it, and like, what will people think of me now? And it's all okay. It's all okay. And the beginning is going to be it might be a rough journey. Maybe not, but it has the potential to be rough. It's very, very steep learning curve to learn how to deal with like bonds, the system itself, management, like what you can and can't do. And you're constantly testing out new things. Like, what can I do in the gym? What can I do in the gym? And you're freaking out at like if everything is okay all the time. You're going to hit a dip. Ride it out. So the dip for me changed when I decided that I was just going to have fun with this whole process, and that I wasn't going to be worried about solving it right now. That it was going to be a journey, and until then, I was just going to look at the progress. If I like spent less time worrying on it, or working on it, and I had less worry, less stress, that I was going to consider it a win. So I went for my first maintenance visit. and we tried a new bond system, right? We tried Eurotape, and it actually turned out working really well, like really, really well. And it's been over 2 weeks now, and I haven't had any issues, and it's been fantastic, and it looks pretty good. Anyways, there's probably gonna be more to my journey that I still haven't discovered, and but I'm trying to test things out and take it as far as I can. Like I've gone on multi-day trips with a big cohort of people in a professional environment. I go to the gym every day. I'm about to go to the gym as soon as I leave this recording this video right now. I'm testing these things that way I can get a better understanding of how I can be a symbiote, like live with this and as make this part of my identity. Anyways, the reason I'm saying all this kind of stuff is because, like, as men, this is really inherently linked to, it might be linked to your confidence. If it's not, great, cool. But if it is, listen, it's okay. It's a journey. It's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. Like, we're going to walk through this thing together. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And I really want to build a community of people that we can do life together. We can progress through these things together, because I believe that if we start loving ourselves to a higher level and really, really enacting that, and it'll enact in our everyday life and everything that we do. It'll change our business life, our personal life, our relational life, everything, right? And I can tell you, like, I almost hate to say it, but my confidence really has been affected by this journey in a positive way. And I feel like I have to share this stuff with you, with everybody who's watching this. Like, I feel like I'm being called to do this, to take a stand, whether on like a very public forum, and to say like, hey, this is me, this is what I'm dealing with, and I want you to feel like you can go through it too, because it's a scary thing. And in our society, men cannot, we're supposed to be seen as like hard rocks, right? Like impenetrable, nothing bothers us, nothing comes in or out emotionally, and that nothing bothers us. Well, I don't think that's true, and we need each other. We need each other, and we need to talk about these things. We need to talk about more than just this. Like, we need to talk about so much. Anyways, this video has probably gone on for quite a while. I'm really excited to walk through this journey with you. And if you have any questions, please ask, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell down below, please. Let's engage. All right, talk to you soon.